It's October 22nd, 2022, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about Russia and America and how they're the same. And I realized this tonight because again and again, Russians will only listen to fellow Russians when you ask them about America. And I thought that was so stupid. But then I started to think about Americans, and Americans do the exact same thing. Instead of going to a Russian and asking a Russian what Russia is like, they rely on their own people. And it's really stupid when you think about it, because what happens is that in America, it's an island, it's a sea, it's an island completely apart from the rest of the world, and less than 50% of the people approximately have a visa. And so Americans are extremely ignorant, like laughably ignorant of the rest of the world. And so that creates a monopoly on information on what really happens. And so only the rich and the elite go overseas. And if you're rich and elite, you learn really quickly to play the game. And that game is peddle the capitalist narrative. It's just basically the narrative. It doesn't have to be capitalist, but you just peddle, you repeat the narrative, the story that the society tells you to if you want to keep making money, if you want to keep in power. And so the middle class and the poor who know no better, they believe the people on the top. Now, Russia is also an island. It's an island of land. There's a huge distance between both mentally and also physically from Europe. Many of the things that happened, from the Black Plague to democracy to ending slavery, it took a little bit longer to get to Russia. And Russia is the same. And what happens is there's gatekeepers here too. And these gatekeepers speak just like they have the same background as the Russians here. They have the same mannerisms and they're familiar. Whereas I'm this alien. I act differently, I talk differently. And so who are you going to trust? Are you going to trust the alien? Or are you going to trust somebody that has the same cultural values, that knows the same television shows that you, that knows the same jokes, that remembers the same historical events? Of course you're going to think of that person, or you're going to go to that person that's familiar to you. And so it's just really amazing, because tonight I was in a meeting, and every culture has certain things you're supposed to talk about and certain things you're not supposed to talk about. With America, you're not supposed to, you lose your job if you criticize the war too much as a journalist, and if you criticize Israel. And also race. There's things that are so obvious about race that you cannot talk about. And of course, if you don't like gays, if you feel that gays you don't like the lifestyle, you could lose your job. That's censorship. That's not freedom of speech. If you don't like a man coming to your work in a dress, you could lose your job. That's censorship. Every country has it. And it's really hypocritical that America says that about Russia. But Russia has certain things you're not supposed to talk about too. And people intuitively know that they're not supposed to talk about those things. And the gatekeepers especially know that they're not supposed to talk about these things. And the gatekeepers are very well educated, they're smart, they go to the best universities, and they're charming. And so who are they going to listen to? Are they going to listen to the American who doesn't dress perfectly? Or are they going to listen to their own countrymen? And this has nothing to do with the truth. It has absolutely nothing to do with the truth. It has everything to do with familiarity and has everything to do with propaganda manipulation. And every country is like that, especially empires. And Russia's an empire, and America's an empire. And if you're not an empire, then you're a vassal. You're being controlled by an empire. And so those ideas basically trickle down to you. Travis Lee Bailey, Moscow American. Why don't Russians smile? Peace. Za Russia, for Russia.